I'm Kate.
I'm Megan.
And this is Cooking with the Bells. Every time it gets better.
Yeah, it for sure does. What are we making today?
Alright, today I was thinking we would indulge a little and go for some chocolate milkshakes. Well, not milk in our case since you are allergic, but you can use everything we're using today. You can use real milk. It's of your choice. So, I'm gonna start with a pint of ice cream. We're using cold brew coffee because I thought that hit sounded really good to go with chocolate.
Yes, that sounds great.
And our store did not have a dairy-free chocolate ice cream, so it works out.
I love coffee anyway, and I think coffee and chocolate just go so well together that I am for sure about it.
Now I'm gonna struggle with this because I should have thought this through a little better, but you know what? It's fine. What's great about milkshakes, I'm gonna kind of give you the ratios. You can use whatever ice cream you want, whatever flavor ice cream you want, whatever milk you want, whatever syrups you want. So you can really make this your own flavor. I mean, if you check back with us often enough, you might learn some of our favorite flavors, but
for sure. I mean, it would be so easy to make a strawberry or a caramel, or you could combine a caramel and chocolate, or you could throw some peanut butter in it to have like a chocolate peanut butter shake. I mean, honestly, like I think that's one thing that's so great about milkshakes is really there's limitless possibilities. I mean, you can use sherbets instead of ice cream and have like a fruity orange-sickle type.
Ooh, like a dreamsicle.
Yeah, it's exactly, that was the word I was looking for.
Yes.
Yes, I would absolutely.
Alright. Then we're using unsweetened almond milk today. Like I said earlier, use whatever milk choice makes your little heart happy. And I do about a 2-to-1 ratio. So I have a pint, which is 2 cups of ice cream. So I'm going to do about a cup of milk. And I'm just going to use this to eyeball it. I'm going to call that good. It's a little under a cup, I think. But I can always add more milk. I can't take it away.
That's very true. And, you know, we like a thicker milkshake. So
yes,
you can definitely add more or less milk or more or less ice cream, just depending on your own personal preference.
And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla. You're not really going to taste the vanilla, but it's almost like how we use salt. You know it's not there, but you don't notice it's there. And then Hershey syrup. The reason we're using Hershey brand is because Hershey brand is dairy free, and the other chocolate syrup brands, at least at my grocery store, have a little may contain milk at the bottom. After reading the ingredients list, I'm pretty sure it's cross-contamination, but you can never be too safe.
Right, and you always want to check your labels because while it's dairy-free now, you never know when things can change. So if you're allergic to something, always make sure you read labels. That's one thing I've definitely learned.
And then I did about 3 tablespoons of chocolate. Just gonna put our lid on so we don't have a big mess. Oh, I did that wrong. Oh well. Turn on. And then that looks good.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to grab the Hershey syrup and I'm going to chocolate the inside of our glasses just to add a little extra.
We like our umph.
Oop, I just poured that all over the table.
That's why we have paper towels.
That's why we use this particular tablecloth. Look, it's done. Just add in a little something there. And I'm gonna put this back with our milkshake ingredients because we're not gonna use it in our burgers.
Right. Just gonna pull our blade off. And then set this to help avoid a messiness. Right. Let's see. I think it's gonna be just pourable.
Mmm.
Look at that.
I love it.
Well, there went most of my milkshake.
That's okay. That's why we have paper towels, right? That's what we just said.
Exactly. We get every last drop around here. Alright. Whoop. Listen, I did my best. That's all I got. There's a spoon for you.
Oh, thank you. Mm. That's a solid milkshake.
It is.
And you know what goes great with milkshakes? Burgers. That's
I'm
what
so
we're doing
excited.
today, which I'm sure you've seen everywhere. Smashburgers. One more bite.
I believe.
So, it's very trendy right now, but they're so delicious. So, how could we not make it, put our own spin on it? It's very true. So, we currently have ground beef chuck. It is an 80-20 blend. It has just enough fat on there to, you know, really cook up and have a lot of flavor on our griddle. Our griddle is already preheating and going. So I'm just gonna open it and squeeze it on out into a bowl.
Beautiful.
Come over with our trash bag. I appreciate it. And it is a 1 pound roll that we're using today. But if you have more family members or if you're doing these for a cookout, obviously you might want to use more. Let me get every last bit. There we go. So I tend to do about maybe somewhere in between 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of beef when I am making the ball. So probably about 1/3 of a cup, honestly. And you don't want to press the end. You want them to be loose. So I'm going to go ahead and set it on my Blackstone and let it sizzle a little bit and make my other burger patties up. And of course, depending on your bun size, and it's really going to depend on how big you want them, or, you know, if you want sliders, you can make these tinier. If you have jumbo buns, you can make them a little larger, maybe like 1/2 of a cup. But really just personal preference. But I do try to at least get mine uniform, that way they're cooking all about the same time.
Save the one for the B-roll because we forgot to do that.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so they're sizzling. They're good to go. I am just going to take my gloves off here and throw them away so I don't contaminate. Thanks. So, I actually found these at our local dollar store, and they're already pre-cut pieces of parchment. However, you can cut them yourself. It's just to help when you press down so that they don't stick to your spatula, or in my case, I'm using a cast iron pan. It's like a little baby cast iron pan. Like the size of my head. Isn't it beautiful?
I love it.
So, it has a nice flat surface for squishing. And you can also use a burger press that's made specifically for this. And I typically hold it about 10 seconds per patty. Sometimes I feel like I don't get a good enough smash it enough. So I just gotta come back and get them a little bit thinner.
Smashburgers are typically really thin. Like you're thinking quarter-pound patty as opposed to like when we do hamburgers, they're typically closer to a half-pound patty, so they're nice and thick.
All right. And then I'm just gonna get my parchment off so it's not cooking on it. But the thing about Smashburgers is the patty isn't gonna be gorgeous. But they taste so good because they get like a little charred crispiness to them. So while the first side is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and season. We're using onion and garlic powders, paprika, and a little cayenne. But of course, you can use whatever seasonings that your family prefers. And also, if your family doesn't like a lot of spice, you don't have to use cayenne, but it just adds a little nice kick, a nice flavor.
Yeah. Something a little different from pepper, so it's not just the same old burger.
So while those are going on that side, I'm actually just gonna take some onions here. I'm gonna put them on the griddle so they get a nice little caramelization going. I'm just gonna sprinkle it off to the side here so that they're not in the way, but they can get a nice flavor too.
Oh, I love caramelized onions.
Oh, me too.
Caramelized mushroom and onions when they get caramelized together on a burger.
I absolutely
So good.
love that. And they cook for about 2 to 3 minutes per side. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip my patties here.
It reminds me of like when I find an old diner when I'm traveling, because I love road tripping. And you find that old diner where you walk in and you can just smell the well-used griddle.
Yes.
And like, it's not something you eat every day or all the time, but oh my goodness, does it just hit that spot in your soul when you do eat it.
For sure. I think that's what I really love about them too. But while those are cooking, I'm just gonna come over here and get some more of my milkshake. Yum. They're looking so good. That is done. So I'm just gonna move him aside. Let's check on this one. Beautiful, beautiful. Bet this one up here is done too.
Oh, that one looks gorgeous.
It does. That's like the perfect definition of a Smashburger. Go ahead and press it in, get a little bit more char on that one.
I mean, it's kind of what you're going for with Smashburgers. That's why you kind of put the ball on, let it caramelize the bottom and brown a little bit, and then you smash it and let it re-brown and caramelize. You get these like pockets of that sear, and so the texture of it is completely different from the texture of like your normal burger that you throw on the grill.
For sure. It's just so good. All right,
Smells so good.
I'm moving those aside because I'm just gonna move my onions into where that grease from the burgers has been. And it's not overly greasy. A lot of it, of course, escapes to the back to the grease trap. But I just want to give these onions a little more flavor. Because, you know, onions, they just kind of soak up everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let these cook for a few minutes, and then I'm going to move them aside because I'm going to go ahead and heat up our buns on here as well. And that's completely optional, but I personally like a nice, warm, toasty bun. These onions are getting such a gorgeous color. Nice caramel, if you will.
I'm just gonna keep eating my milkshake.
That's perfect. You don't want it to melt. You want it to still be a milkshake.
Like, I feel like I'm kind of to where it is all melty at the bottom. You know that last bit's always liquid.
For sure. So I'm going to go ahead and just move my onions over. They'll stay warm on that corner, but I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to squirt like a little bit more oil here because I don't want my buns to stick. I'm just going to let the bottoms get a nice toast to them. And then I'll flip them and do the same with the tops. So, can you tell us about the toppings we have here today, especially what's in that jar?
Alright, so we have your typical tomato and lettuce. Then in this jar, we have pickles. And if you want to know how to make your own pickles, you can click, we actually have a video on how to make quick pickles. Only takes about 20 minutes of active work, and then they just need to sit in the fridge for 6 to 8 hours, and you have pickles. So please be sure to go check that out. And as always, we'll have the recipes linked below, and then, like I said, we'll also have the video for the pickles linked below.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
And of course, you can add all sorts of toppings to your burger. We'll probably grab some mayo, mustard, or ketchup here in a little bit, but honestly, if a burger has really good flavor, I don't feel like you need to overly dress it in condiments.
I'm very much meat, sometimes cheese, caramelized onions, and pickles human. Like, if it's a good burger, I don't put condiments typically.
Right, and honestly, I feel like, you know, sometimes those condiments can just really drown out the flavor, and so you don't get as much of that delicious taste, you know? So I'm just gonna get us a burger.
More visible toasty.
Get a burger patty here.
Yes, I want that.
I knew you would want that one. I saved it just for you. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get you some onions.
Yay.
And then you can dress that other one up however you want. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my bun as well. And grab this patty. And I'm gonna grab a top. Move these over to where they don't get overly warm. So nobody wants burnt bread. Or, as my husband calls it, because every time I burn the bread, I go, oh my goodness! We call it, oh my goodness, or oh my gosh bread around here. I'm gonna grab a napkin real quick just to get the
yes,
crumbs off my hand. Bye.
Right. And these are our pickles, and I don't reuse my brine, so we are just gonna go in with our fingers because it's just us that eat these.
I'm gonna grab a little lettuce, maybe one slice of tomato.
Obviously use forks and other instruments to get them out instead of your fingers if it is a communal jar, because sanitation.
And get this little booger out. There we go. Put the lid to my burger on here. Okay. See how she tastes. Mm-hmm. One more bite. Same. Okay. I have to put it down or I'm gonna keep eating. For sure. Wow. I think they turned out absolutely delicious. So good. Well, I think that's it for today. Pretty quick, easy recipe. Very reasonable for a weeknight. You can, of course, make these in a skillet on your stove. You don't have to use a griddle. Yeah. So, you know, if you liked this video, you laughed with us or possibly at us, we don't mind. If we somehow kept you entertained, if you would consider hitting the like button down below. And if you really like watching our videos and you want to see more from us, go ahead and hit subscribe down below. And if you already are subscribed to our videos, thank you so much for your support.
We appreciate it so much.
We do. Thank you. And so the recipes will be linked down below. You can go directly to our website and get a printable version. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Bye.